Third year English lecture number 58, topic The Happy Prince. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Third year class students, how are you all? I hope you all fine. And students, I say welcome to all of you in my class. And beta, let's start our today's topic. And you know that from the previous lectures we were studying the Happy Prince, and we came to know that how the Happy Prince and the little swallow, they helped the poor people of the city, and how they feel sad and dejected at seeing the pathetic condition of the poor of the society. Okay beta, so let's start. Okay. Hungry we are, they said, you must not lie here, shouted the watchman, and they wandered out into the rain. Okay beta, previous में हमने पढ़ा था that the rich, they were busy in merrymaking in their beautiful houses, whereas the beggars, they were sitting at their doors and they were asking for the help, and whereas the little children, they were standing in the dark streets and they were hungry. Okay, so they were talking with each other that how hungry we are. They said, you must not lie here, shouted the watchman. Ab beta jo watchman tha, he came towards them and he shouted that it is not allowed to lie here. Lie mean बैठना लेटना कुछ भी आप कह सकते हो, ठीक है. And they wandered out into the rain. और बेटा वो रेन में जो है वो they walked into, वो चले गए भाग के वहाँ पे रेन के अंदर बारिश में चले गए. So it was a very pitiable scene, and the Happy Prince बेटा he felt very sad. Then he flew back and told the prince what he had seen. But a swallow जो है, little swallow, he had visited, he had observed their scenes, and beta he told all the scenes to the Happy Prince. I am covered because why he was telling Happy Prince, because now the prince, he had been blind because he had given away his two sapphires that were putting into his eyes in place of his eyes. Okay? So now he was totally blind and he couldn't see anything. I am covered with fine gold, said the prince. You must take it off leaf by leaf and give it to my poor. The living always think that gold can make them happy. Now what did he say? He told the little swallow that now what you can do, you would take the gold that is covered my body and you will take it out leaf by leaf. इसको थोड़ा थोड़ा करके एक एक इसकी परत करके उतार लो and give it to my poor, और मेरे गरीबों को दे दो. The living always think that gold, और जो हमेशा ये लोग सोचते हैं that gold can make them happy, कि gold लेके they would be happy. Leaf after leaf of the fine gold the swallow picked off till the Happy Prince looked quite dull and grey. Now beta, he took off all the gold from the body of the Happy Prince and he gave it to the poor. And how the Happy Prince was looking? He was looking very dull and grey, because all the gold that were giving a shining to his body, it was taken off. ठीक है बेटा, उसको उतार लिया गया था. Leaf after leaf, they have fine gold he brought to the poor, and the children's faces grew rosier, and they laughed and played games in the street. We have bread now, they cried, that we have something to eat now. They became happy because the gold, it had made them a little bit rich. It had fulfilled their needs of bread. रोटी की जो बेटा उनकी ज़रूरत थी उस गोल्ड ने पूरी कर दी. That was given away by the swallow and the Happy Prince. Okay. Then the snow came, and after the snow came the frost. Okay बेटा, अब क्या हुआ? The snow. अब आपको पता है कि the little swallow, he was insisting upon flying, upon going to the Egypt, because winter was approaching. But now the winter has finally come. And after the snow came the frost, और snow के बाद बेटा frost आ गई. Frost आपको पता है ज़्यादा बेटा जो बर्फ़बारी होती है, snow तो हल्की सी होती है ना, but frost होती है जिसमें बेटा चीज़ें जमने लग जाती हैं. ठीक है. And after the snow came the frost. The streets looked as if they were made of silver. They were so bright and glistening, long, iceless, like crystal. Daggers hung down from the caves of the houses. Everybody went about in furs, and the little boys wore scarlet caps and scattered on the ice. Okay beta, what were the scenes? That everything, it seemed that it was covered with snow, and the poor little swallow grew colder and colder. But yes beta, the poor little swallow grew colder and colder, but he wouldn't leave the happy prince. ठीक है बेटा, because there was so much frost and cold that he was getting colder day by day. ठीक है? He loved him too well, but he wouldn't leave the prince because he loved him too well, and now the happy prince, he had become blind as well. That's why beta, little swallow, he was loving him more than before. He picked up crumbs outside the baker's door when the baker was not looking. Crumbs किसको कहते हैं बेटा? स्मॉल पीसेज ऑफ ब्रेड. ठीक है, तो वो छोटे छोटे जो ब्रेड के टुकड़े थे वो वहाँ से उठा लेता है आउटसाइड द बेकर्स डोर व्हेन द बेकर वाज नॉट लुकिंग, जब वो देख नहीं रहा होता. सो एंड ट्राई टू कीप हिमसेल्फ वार्म बाय फ्लैपिंग हिज विंग्स. और बेटा अपने आप को फ्लैपिंग होता है फड़फड़ाना. ठीक है, अपने विंग्स को फड़फड़ा के जो है वो, अपने विंग्स को हिला के जो है वो ही ट्राई टू मेक हिमसेल्फ वार्म. बट एट लास्ट ही न्यू दैट ही वॉज गोइंग टू डाई. Oh, so sad beta. So because he was getting die due to winter. So but at last he knew that he was going to die. He had just strength to fly up to the prince's shoulder once more. Beta he recollected strength in order to fly up to the prince's shoulder once more. एक दफ़ा फिर जो है बेटा अपनी strength को इकट्ठा करता है, and he once more he flew up to the prince's shoulder. Goodbye dear prince, he murmured. Will you let me kiss your hand? Okay, कहते हैं कि murmured mean he spoke very low because his whole strength had vanished due to hunger and due to frost. ठीक है बेटा? So he said that, will you let me kiss your hand? Can you give me permission that I may kiss your hand? I am glad that you are going to Egypt at last. Still, little swallow, said the prince, you have stayed too long here, but you must kiss me on the lips, for I love you. No, beta. He's saying that, no, it was not known to the happy prince because he was totally blind now and he was unable to see the condition of the swallow. So he said that, I am glad that you are going to Egypt, कि तुम Egypt जा रहे हो, so I am very happy for you. At last you are going. Swallow, said the prince, you have stayed too long here. तुमने यहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम गुजार लिया है. But you must kiss me on the lips. But you should kiss me on the lips because I love you. So both of them, they were in love with each other because both have humane heart. Their hearts were filled with the misery and the poverty of the people. ठीक है? So they had very much, you can say, sincere and helpful people. So it is not to Egypt that I am going, said the swallow. I am going to the house of death. Death is the brother of sleep, is he not? Now beta is saying that I am not going to Egypt. It's not Egypt that I am going. I am going to the house of death. मतलब मरने जा रहा हूँ. To say I am going to die. Death is the brother of sleep, is he not? And he kissed the happy prince on the lips and fell down dead at his feet. Oh, so sad that he fell down dead at the feet of the happy prince, dear students, and he kissed for the last time on the lips. So at last beta he died. But how he died beta? He died after helping so many people, after giving them so much happiness, after removing their hunger and their poverty with the help of happy prince. So at that moment, a curious crack sounded inside the statue. But when the little swallow he died, so something, a sound of curious cracking होता है बेटा किसी चीज़ की टूटने की आवाज़. ठीक है? So a curious crack, a strange crack sound, it came from the inside of the statue, as if something had broken. और ऐसा लगा जैसे अंदर से कुछ टूट गया है. The fact is that the leaden heart had snapped right into two. It certainly was a dreadfully hard frost. और उसका क्या वजह हुई? The heart, the leaden heart, the heart that was made of lead, it had fallen apart. It had been divided into two pieces. And it certainly was a dreadfully hard frost. बेटा सर्दी बहुत ही ज़्यादा थी. So it was the end of this story, almost not ends. Inshallah, in the next lecture we will end this lesson, this short story. But beta, we can see that how the happy prince and the little swallow, they felt the pain and misery of the people in their own heart. This is the beta, this is the humanity, that you feel the misery and sufferings of your fellow beings. This is humanity, okay? And if you do something to help out the people, so you are a great person. So beta, both the little swallow and the happy prince, they did very good things in order to, when they help the people. So beta, helping is a great virtue. Okay? So beta, it's enough for today, and inshallah in the next lecture we shall come to an end of this story, and we shall see what was the end of the story. Okay beta? So till next lecture, stay blessed and Allah Hafiz.